Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Bits video, and today we're here at CASE and we've got Brady with us here, and he's going to tell us a little bit about CASE's electric construction equipment, and we're going to start here kind of with their top tier machine, which is the 580 EV Backhoe. So tell us a little bit about this thing.
Yeah, so the 580 EV is, as you said, the top spec machine of the 6 models that CASE has for electric construction equipment. It is based on the same platform as our diesel machine. CASE actually invented the integrated loader backhoe back in the 60s, so we've been known for making backhoes for many years.
Yeah.
This is a machine that we've launched in the past 2 years that is something that is taking that proven traditional CASE backhoe platform and bringing into a zero emissions future.
Yeah, cool. So what are we looking at for battery capacity and runtime for this thing?
Yeah, so this machine uses an electrical system that's very automotive based. So it's a 400 volt system architecture.
Okay.
It's an actively thermally managed battery, so it's got a coolant loop that's keeping the battery at optimal temperature. Total capacity, net capacity is about 73 kilowatt hours.
Okay.
So you got a lot of energy in that machine.
Yeah.
Runtimes on a backhoe, as opposed to an automotive world, you have the different cycles, and you can just kind of say how many miles is it going to drive on a charge.
With something like this, it's going to be very dependent on what kind of work you're doing.
Exactly, and so the spec sheet that you'll see online, that it'll say 4 to 8 hours, and what does that mean? That's a huge range, right? That's 50% of the machine. So a backhoe in particular, because of this kind of multifaceted application of a machine, what we've seen in our customer application and our own internal testing is that driving the machine, say for example you're loading a truck with the front bucket, scooping material and dumping into a dump truck, that's very energy consuming. Okay. You are moving the whole mass of the machine, you're driving back and forth, going in forward and reverse, going through the gears of the machine. That's where you're going to get more about a 4-hour runtime. When you use the machine more for a digging application, so you're at the back end of the machine, okay, and you're digging a trench, and so customers will use this machine to dig up a water line or something like that in a municipal application. In that application, you're parked stationary, your outriggers are down, and you're moving the arm, and you're moving material, but there you're going to get more of an 8-hour runtime. So when I'm talking to customers, it's kind of a question for the customer is how much are you driving the machine versus how much you're digging with the machine, and their actual real world runtime is going to fall in between that 4 to 8 hour range.
Yeah, cool. And I guess kind of to explain to our viewers who might not be as super well versed in construction equipment, a machine like this is really a very versatile. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of construction equipment.
Sure.
You can do a lot of different things with it. So I guess what kind of battery technology are you guys using for it? Do you know if it's lithium iron phosphate or like an NMC-based chemistry?
Yeah, so for the 580 EV, because of the high power demands, we use an NMC chemistry.
Okay, so you want that energy density.
Exactly. This type of machine in a diesel model would be in the order of 100 to 120 horsepower range.
Yeah.
So for us, that's the high end of our electric vehicles from a power standpoint.
Cool. Any other particular special features that this machine has, maybe versus a diesel-powered machine? Yeah,
so kind of one of the things that I'm sure that your viewers might be interested in is just how we get that energy from the battery into the motion of the machine. So on a traditional diesel-powered backhoe, you've got your engine connected to a transmission, and then you have a hydraulic pump that's basically in series, all on one
all in
shaft.
series together, yeah.
On the 580 EV, we actually, of course, we have electric motors that are now turning those components, but they're 2 separate systems. So there's one electric motor that's running the hydraulics, one electric motor that's running the transmission and the ground drive and the powertrain.
Right.
And so what we've seen from customer use of the machine is that independent nature really has some performance advantages for the customer, because now they are able to, have their engine, their drive be very slow, like they were pushing into a pile. Their ground drivetrain is at a very slow setting, but they can have their loader arm still at a very high setting and have good hydraulic flow to lift and objects. So what you get is the advantage to kind of disconnect the RPM, so to speak, of your drivetrain versus your hydraulic.
Yeah, so you can have high hydraulic flow but with low speed for the powertrain. Yes. That makes total sense. That's not really something that I would have thought of as being an advantage, but yeah, that makes total sense for the application. Yeah. And I'm sure that the dual powertrain system makes for a lot better efficiency as well.
Correct, yeah. So if you are that application where you're digging, you got your stabilizers down, you don't turn the oil that's going into the drivetrain, it's just stationary, right? So you're saving that energy.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, I guess we can kind of take a little bit of a look around the machine.
Yeah,
and kind of show our viewers what the controls of this thing look like.
Right.
So yeah, I guess we should take a look inside the cab.
Yeah, for sure. We can go around the other side.
Yeah, the other side's probably easier for access.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the backhoe end, you know, all of the digging, the stabilizers, the cylinders, the plumbing, all of this is common with the diesel machine. So it's that proven heritage. The components have been out in the industry for many years. Customers are familiar with them. It also allows you to do a lot of attachments. You talked about versatility.
Yeah.
There's lots of customers that will put different attachments in. It's not just a bucket. They may have a hydraulic hammer out there. They may put a mulching application on there. So using the machine still has hydraulic oil, you can still use all those same attachments.
You can use all the same attachments you use on a diesel machine, yeah. And you guys also have the Extend-A-Hoe on this as well, which I think Case was the first to do that, right?
Correct, yeah. So that's something that's the Case is known for. So you can actually extend your arm on the backhoe and dig a deeper hole or reach a further object.
Yeah, cool. Well, I guess let's take a look inside. So we've got to look inside the cab here, and so I guess control-wise, this is a bi-directional machine. So for our viewers that don't know, the seat actually swivels around to control the different ends of the machine, right? Yeah.
Of remote control perception.
Yeah. Anything else special to mention there, I guess?
Yeah, so as far as the controls, you're exactly right. The seat switches both ways, so you can run either backhoe mode or loader mode. We have advanced some of the technology in here because it's an electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So we've enhanced our color display. So there's a touchscreen display in this machine that is something that's not on a diesel model.
Gotcha.
The other thing where we made improvements is with the controls. So in the construction industry, you'll see machines, and as time has progressed, you've got machines with manual mechanical controls. You've got linkages going down your loader valves to operate things. The next generation, what is in our diesel machines, is a hydraulic pilot, so hydraulic over hydraulic controls. This machine is a fully electronic over hydraulic control. Okay. So those joysticks that the operator is going to use to do his operations are electronic joysticks.
Right.
And reason we've done that for is back to that energy saving. So on the EV, if you're digging and you stop, and a lot of times, imagine a guy's dug a trench and there's a person that needs to go in to fix a water main leak or something like that.
Right.
So you move, you put your bucket over the side, guy takes his hands off the controls. On a diesel machine, they're going to be out there sitting there idling for, an hour as they wait, somebody else to go do this thing.
Yeah.
On the EV, as soon as you let go of those joysticks, the machine knows, right? You're not operating. It spools down the hydraulics. You're not wasting energy. It helps enhance the runtime of the machine because we've got these electronic controls.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I guess for our viewers at home, that's basically, it's like a drive-by-wire system, right?
Exactly.
Everything's electronically controlled.
Yeah. It also gives you some advantages to sensitivity, so you can dial in the settings. Some operators, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you want to be very fast and move material, and the machine is moving very quickly. Flip side, you get into a job where you are, up by a house or something, or a gas main is something very close. And so you can dial the controls down and have the machine be much more slow and precise depending on the application that you're doing.
Cool. Yeah. And I guess maybe the last thing that we can talk about is what does the charging situation look like for this machine?
So this machine, actually, the charging door is right here. So we use a J1772, just Type 2. So this is just level 2 charging, AC only.
Okay, so no DC charging on this machine.
No DC charging. And really for the customers that are buying this machine, most customers are charging the machine overnight. So there are, imagine a municipality that has a yard in the downtown area of a town, right? So the backhoe parks there at night. They charge essentially a 7 to 8 hour charge time if it was fully empty. So an overnight charge, they get up, they do the job, they drive the machine across town. That's one of the reasons why people use this backhoe is this machine can drive down the road.
Right. They're very mobile.
You don't have to put it on a trailer to haul it to the job site, fix the water main break, come back to the shop, park, and charge at night. Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what I would envision being one of the best applications. Exactly.
This would be like a municipality or something.
Yes. So that's one of the key customer segments for this machine, and a lot of those customers have already electrified some of their on-road fleet. So they may have F-150 Lightnings, they may have Chevy Bolts for the meter reader or something like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of them already have the J1772 kind of infrastructure already set up.
Cool. Good stuff. Well, I guess let's take a look at some of the other machines as well.
Yeah, it'll be great to show you.
Sweet. All right, so we've got Case's CX25 EV mini excavator here, and this is an application that I see a lot for electrification is these mini excavators. So what can you tell us about this thing?
Yeah, so you're exactly right. The mini excavator is probably the most popular category of electrified machinery on the construction equipment side. So Case, we actually have 2 different mini excavator models. In our naming convention, the number is the operating weight in metric tons. So
okay. Yep.
CX25 is a 2.5 metric ton machine. We also have a little brother that's a CX15 is a 1.5 metric ton.
Okay,
machine.
yeah, so just a little baby machine.
Exactly. And so these machines are a very versatile job. The CX25 is kind of perfect size to go into somebody's backyard. You know, it's still small enough to get through a gate. The CX15, we actually have a lot of customers that are running them inside. So they go inside buildings. It'll fit through a doorway.
Oh yeah, so less than 36 inches wide, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it has, both machines actually have adjustable tracks, so you can kind of narrow the width of the machine.
Oh yeah, if you need to get through
if you want stability versus get through a narrow gate. CX25 and its brother, their electrical system is more industrial forklift kind of in heritage than the automotive world. So here we've got a 102 volt battery pack that is about 32 kilowatt hours for this machine.
Wow, so that's a lot of capacity and it's such a small machine.
Yes, for sure. And you, with that capacity, you get a little bit longer run times. Like we were talking about the Backhoe, that 4 to 8 hours. This machine is much more like 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
And really, it's the different application from an excavator versus a backhoe.
Yeah.
So these type of machines, of course, they have tracks on them, but oftentimes the tracks are just transportation to get to the site.
Right.
And then the actual work is digging. So you're, you know, digging a hole. You may be spinning the we call it spinning the house or spinning the cab of the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, dump dirt over here to the side, but you're not really driving a lot in this type of machine, and that helps your run times get better.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of moving with it. So any other special features for this machine over a diesel?
So kind of like the conversation we had on the Backhoe, this machine does have electro over hydraulic controls, whereas on a diesel machine in that kind of this size category, this price point doesn't have that. It's common on big excavators, but not generally on this size of machine.
Okay.
And so again, that's your adjustability. You can actually go in the display on this machine and tune the speed of every function. So if you're doing something and I want to be able to curl very slowly for whatever reason based on the soil conditions I said, you can dial that down, but I still want to be able to lift up and then move and dump really quick. So
interesting.
It really lets the operator dial the machine down. That helps them manage for the application they're doing. It also helps their energy savings.
Yes.
We've seen customers that use the machine and maybe the first day they owned it, they got, I don't know, 5 hours of runtime out of it. Give them a few days and they start dialing in those settings and they can get 6, 7, 8 hours doing the exact same job, but as they're kind of tuning the machine to the way application.
Yeah, learning how to use it for the application they want. Cool.
Yep.
Well, I guess, can we take a look at the battery on this thing?
Yeah, for sure. We can definitely do that.
So we've got the battery back here in the machine, and it looks like we've got a couple of different charging situations here.
Yes, exactly. So this is a 32 kilowatt hour battery. This one is passively cooled, so there's no coolant loop that's running through here.
Okay.
But again, that's just the low power nature of this type of machine. It's not nearly the same power demands as we have on a backhoe.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. We've got 2 different charging options. For a lot of customers that are buying this type of machine, they may not necessarily have a fleet of electric vehicles. They may not be invested in, you know, a J1772 charger. So what we've done is tried to keep things simple for them. You know, they have a cord, they can plug it into a wall.
Yeah,
so,
and it's got a pretty long cord on it too.
Yes, yeah. So this is kind of the onboard charger, lets them charge. Again, it's kind of that overnight charge time based on the capacity of the battery and the how much power you're going to be able to put into it from the charger. But we do also have an option for customers. You can see the 2-prong connector right here.
But that's very similar to like a forklift charger.
Exactly. That's a DIN connector that is straight out of forklift land. So again, that's something that it really depends on the customer and the application. They may not use that on every job site, but it's good to have that option. That gets them into charging times down into the single-digit hours, so they can have 2 or 3 hour charge times based on how much they've depleted the battery.
Yeah, cool. Awesome, good stuff. Well, I guess we can go on to the next and look at the next machine.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got the TL100 EV, and this is actually a new product for you guys, right?
Yes, this is something we just launched here at Con Expo this year, pulled the curtain off at the beginning of the show, so people are really excited about it.
Awesome, cool. And it looks like we've got a few different kind of unique features about this machine. I noticed it's got non-marking tracks.
Yes.
And what are we looking at for specs on this machine?
Yeah, so the TL100 EV, like we said, brand new, These non-marking tracks is something that is, we expect a lot of customers to use this machine indoors.
Okay.
So it makes a great complement with our mini excavator, that CX15 EV that customers are using for demolition work. This is how you haul all that rubble out of the work site that you're in. So,
right, yeah.
From a specification standpoint, we've taken very similar kind of what we've done on the backhoe and the excavators. We've taken a proven diesel platform. So we have a TL100 is a diesel powered machine. We've taken that platform, similar structures, lift arm and coupler and hydraulics are all the same. We've just made it electrified. So on this machine, you're really kind of constrained by the envelope of the machine from a space and volume standpoint. So we were able to put the biggest battery that we could, but it's only about a 21 kilowatt hour battery. So that battery pack is very similar to the one that we saw on the excavator. So it's that forklift kind of technology at the 102 volt architecture. Lithium iron phosphate chemistry for these machines. Because they're passively cooled, they don't have nearly as much energy demands as say on the backhoe where we have the NMC.
And should be really long cycle lifespan and stuff as well. Cool. And I guess for our viewers at home, this is actually sort of a stand behind machine. So you actually stand on the back here like this guy is to operate it.
So these machines is a product category that's growing a lot in North America. So there's these mini track loaders, or some people will call them a mini skid or a stand-on loader. It's something that allows you to do a decent amount of work with this machine, but you can hop on, hop off. Landscapers use them a lot. Like I said, indoor demolition work where you're going in and out of a building, hauling material away or something like that. And so we really see that as a space where it makes a good complement to that mini excavator.
I've actually personally run a machine like this for sort of a landscaping project at my parents' house. And it's a pretty versatile machine in terms of, we drove it right through the gate into the backyard and any other particular special features on this machine?
So this one kind of continuing the theme with the controls. So because it's an electric machine, you have electronic joysticks. We've also done a lot of work on this machine, really dialing in those controls for different applications. So in our customers testing, what we've seen is the way you want the machine to react to the controls. If I'm inside, let's say, a hospital or a school and you're doing like a retrofit and you're running down a hallway, you got to be really careful what you're doing. You're not running into stuff, right? So you want the controls to be very slow and precise and deliberate where you go into. But you go back in your backyard and you got to drive, a quarter mile to maybe you're hauling mulch or something. You need to drive a far distance to get a bucket load of mulch. You want to go fast and zip and get the machine going. So with the electronic controls, you can basically adjust the settings to machine so you can have it in a very low mode, slow and deliberate, versus a very fast and quick reaction. So we've seen that as an improvement because that's something that you don't see on a diesel-sized machine, just from a price point in the traditional MTL.
Cool. Alrighty. And then I assume the charging situation on this thing is going to be pretty similar to the mini excavator as well, right?
So actually this machine, we are trying to manage or merge the best of both worlds. This machine is a J1772 port on the machine.
Awesome.
There's actually a little storage compartment that you can basically store a level 1 charger. So you still have the ability just to plug into 120 volt and charge, but now you're using the automotive standard. If the customer does have a level 2 charger, it can take the level 2 charge.
They could just plug it right in.
But then on the flip side, kind of that heritage from the forklift world is we do offer the DC fast charger. Again, that same 2-port we showed you on the mini excavator, that you can have this off-board charger like a forklift and get the charge times down into the single-digit hours.
Cool. So you've got the best of both worlds on this thing then. Cool. So I guess you guys have got a pretty unique drivetrain situation for this compared to the mini excavator. So we should take a look at that real quick, right?
Yes, for sure. So the TL100 EV, because as compared to an excavator, you're doing a lot more driving with this type of machine. That's the job, right? And so we actually, to improve efficiency in this machine, this is our first EV that has a fully electric drivetrain. So there is no hydraulic oil between the battery and the ground. So we go straight into a set of electric motors, and you can actually see this motor attached to the sprockets. That's how the machine is propelled. They're independent electric motors, so you can drive to the right or the left motor is how it steers. And then they are directly attached. You can kind of see through there the electric motor. So
you can see them both right there. So we can see one there. The other one's kind of behind the big pump motor, and the pump motor there is gigantic.
Yes. So that motor is what's turning the hydraulic pump for the loader arm circuit and the attachments. And really that size is to the attachment use. And so a lot of customers,
a high flow application.
Exactly. They'll have attachments that, maybe there's a broom on the front of the machine that needs a lot of oil to run that broom. And so we've seen that versatility, again, is the ability to put on your standard attachments on a diesel machine is a real advantage for an EV.
Cool. Yeah. And then I guess you guys have got the charge port back here, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So this is where we were talking about the best of both worlds. You've got your J1772 charger for your normal charging, but if you do need a faster, a DC charge, we use this forklift style because that's much more common for the customer base that are using this type of machine.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think that pretty much wraps it up for everything here.
Okay.
Thanks so much for being on video with us and showing us what you guys have got.
Yeah, glad to be here. It's been very good.